Welcome to another episode of For the Culture Podcast, a soccer podcast for us, by us, which is the intersection of Black culture and everything soccer. Want to shout out what's going on, everybody?
What's up?
It's good, fam.
All right. What we got going on today? It's Beautiful Tuesday. And we're going to crack into a few things here today for you guys. Let's go ahead and hit this off.
Cool. Of course, thank you guys for listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, everything else. What's good, fam?
We all over the place, man.
Literally and figuratively.
Everywhere.
Although we might be on the fence with TikTok still. I don't know if I want to get a live address again, you know?
You see, I told y'all last week, we might have to hop off TikTok because, 45 is trying to regulate that shit and trying to push Microsoft to buy it. And, of course, you were telling us the other day in the culture chat that the stocks on TikTok on Microsoft really didn't go up because even with the news of the sale. And I'm like, yeah, like like how with kids, everything's cool until parents like it. It seems like TikTok's going to be cool until Trump got involved. And now everyone's like, nah, I ain't fucking with it no more.
Cool.
So, but yeah, we got a decent show for tonight for you guys. Might be a quick show. I'm not sure. We're going to see how this plays out. Of course, we got coming up on the last weekend of the MLS is Back tournament. We're down to the Final Four right now. Tomorrow we got Portland versus Philly, Minnesota versus Orlando. Yo,
man, they are surviving.
Yo, they're the Cinderella of this tournament, clearly. But I need people to understand something. If they win this, they need to put a petition to MLS that says we can never play games in front of fans again because their one bit of success will be in front of nobody. And it feels like up in the previous 4 or 5 years they've been in existence, they haven't done shit. They hadn't won shit, even with designated players, big crowds, all yada yada. And then suddenly fans aren't there. And suddenly the wins come. I'm just saying.
Pretty quality wins at that as well.
True.
True. Yeah, the nail biters, 1-0 games, but still they're beating. They just beat LAFC. Like
yeah. Like who saw that one coming? Like
no,
it was. No. They've been playing quality football. I'll say this, but you know what I think it is. Hold on, I got to get this out, Greg. I'm sorry, my friend, but I think for Orlando, they're finding their success on their true home soil.
So they play at Disney World for now.
The true Disney FC lives.
I think we all know what needs to happen next. They need to move their grounds, and that needs to be where they play. Then
might have to be.
The real Disney FC will be truly alive. The Phoenix,
but no, like here we have again a situation with LAFC where they blow their load too soon on a revenge game because, of course, last year during the playoffs, they finally beat LA Galaxy, lost against Seattle in the conference final. Fast forward here, you finally get Seattle again in the knockout rounds of the tournament. They beat Seattle, but then next game they do against Orlando. I'm going to need for Bob Bradley and LAFC to figure out some type of way to just realize, hey, you have to keep that focus at all times because it feels like they put in so much energy as far as just overcoming, the teams that, knocked them out in the past that once that's dragging a slate, it's like they got nothing else left. And stay focused because I want to see, if it's not going to be Atlanta, I really thought it's going to be LAFC to do this. And once again, it's like, how does this even happen? But yeah, I mean, shout out to Orlando. Like they made this far. They're the Cinderella somehow, some way.
No, man. I think the other Cinderella is the Loons. So it'll be. I mean, come on, man.
They're good. They're like since they moved into their stadium, they've shown a whole nother side, and they've had strong defense, of course, led by Ike Opera. And so, like, they've always been pretty tough. It's just a matter of the offense coming together to, bring it home. So, like, they've always been, I think, a team that nobody really wanted to play, and always been a bitch to, get out. But I tell you, the one team that has been, I think, playing well, pretty much through the entire tournament is Philly. Like, Philly has been, I think they've been in class of this whole tournament.
Well, I mean, last year they were pretty smooth and silky, if you will. So,
absolutely.
They're, just kind of riding off the backs of that coronavirus. Right. And in terms of the break, probably did that team a wealth of wonders.
I mean, I think that we definitely saw signs going in from last year that, they had something solid coming up. And you've had guys like Aronson, because he's still like what, 18, 19 years old. And, he's further developed his game, especially in a position that not a lot of Americans really get, because a lot of Americans in a natural 10 sort of role. And like he, at his age, like he's doing his thing. And they've definitely built something that, honestly, I think if you would ask someone like 3 or 4 years ago if Jim Curtin was still going to be Union head coach, they'd be like, "Shit, you lie."
Sips Culture Cup.
Sip.
Y'all stupid. But no, but like, what are you guys thinking as far as like how things going to go going into the games on Wednesday, and then obviously we won't be here for the finals. Like, how do y'all see this panning out going into this weekend in the final?
I should say I did not expect this to be the top 4 teams, but the way they've been playing, these will be some very quality matches, great football that we should be seeing if you're lucky enough to tune into these matches. So I would like to hear you guys' take first, and then figure out like who do we think is going to make it to the finals. I feel like I see the final I would like to see. I think who would make it. I think any of them deserve to be there, but I can see the final I would like to see. But what do you guys think about the way they've been playing and the potential matches coming up?
At least I really think that Portland versus Philly, whoever wins that is probably going to win this. Like that's at least on paper. That's what I'm thinking. Of course, the Orlando factor might be real. Like you might see Orlando go ahead and make it to the final and really just throw a wrench in everybody's plans. And so I'm going to hedge my bets and say that Philly's going to make the final against Orlando, and Philly will win. Like it'll be close, but I think that by that point, assuming Orlando makes the final, the sentiment will be behind them to go ahead and win at home and everything. But I think that Philly has just been playing too well this entire tournament to blow this. So they've been focused, they've been hungry, and they've been consistent. I don't see if, as long as they stay consistent, this is theirs to lose. Now, of course, I'm a big fan of Gio Savarese up in Portland. He's always done well in playoff types of situations. It would not shock me at all if they made it to the final. But I think Philly should have just enough to get past them. Like I said, like that matchup alone, that's your final right there. So beyond that, it could really be anybody's guess.
TK, who you buying stock in?
Honestly, Grego's got a pretty good point, but I kind of want to give a little bit of stock to Minnesota. I think it could end for Orlando, although they're on a run, and then if you got to be gritty to get to a final, which is kind of the way tournaments are, I think Orlando somehow grits their way through to the final. And I think being gritty on the other side, if we're going to speak in those kind of terms, I see Philly just putting it to Portland. So
if I'm correct,
I think that will be like a mini final, though. That's going to be a damn good match, or it should be.
So if I followed you guys correctly, you both are on the agreement that it'll be Philly and Orlando. Okay, I'll keep you. I'll push you at Philly. I'll push you at Philly, and I'll raise you at Minnesota.
Okay,
is that? Okay. I feel like you can't go wrong with any of these four teams. The way that they've been playing and the way that the tournament stacks right now, I don't think you could go wrong if it's Portland, Minnesota, or Portland, Orlando, or Philly, Minnesota, Philly, or whatever. I think it'll be pretty solid regardless. Mm-hmm. But I hedge my bet on Philly, Minnesota.
Gotcha.
Now winner. Should we go and talk? Should we predict that now or wait?
I'll go ahead.
No, go for it.
Wait, okay.
I mean, we're gonna recap it next week anyway, so it's all good.
So Philly, Orlando.
Philly,
okay.
Yeah.
TK, Philly, Orlando.
Yeah, it's gotta be Philly.
Okay. Three-way. Philly, Minnesota. Philly, I'll take Philly in a 1-1 draw in PK.
Okay. I'll take that. And by the way, if you guys haven't checked out our Twitter at FTCUTD, I did some hits on Pro Evolution Soccer. Like, you know, I whenever I'm bored, that's usually my go-to as far as just my hobby and everything. I'll create kits and everything. I did a pretty creative set for Philly that I posted about 2 or 3 days ago. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's pretty dope. I do this kind of shit all the time when I'm bored. I got one for them, New England. I haven't posted Atlanta yet, so no, it's there. It's there.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah, actually, I got a second one for Charlotte because there was that one person who bitched about the fact that the kits were Puma, and of course, MLS is all Adidas. I'm like, y'all know me well enough to know by now that I can't stand the fact that MLS is all Adidas, and I'm like, so I spread the brands all around. And I'm like, that's just what I do. But I did do an Adidas set for Charlotte. Now, you know, I might put it out this week. So
it was pretty fly, man. The last set you did was pretty fly.
I do.
Do you have a club right now that you're looking at, thinking about creating something fresh, something new?
So. I always have this thing about doing a Canadian league. Of course, now that there's the Canadian Premier League, I do use some of those teams, but also I've collected like logos from all over the place, mainly from like there's Kramer's sports logos. Like I'll make stuff up and put it on there. So like I am bound and determined to do like a full-fledged Canadian league on there, and just you know, whether it's, and that's including the MLS clubs, by the way. So Toronto FC, Montreal Impact, Vancouver, they're all in there as well.
Oh yeah.
And
really good.
But yeah, like that one, I've done like a few teams. Like I've done one from Calgary, Edmonton, a second Montreal team. I don't know if y'all remember for NESL, Montreal Olympic. Got them. Like, yeah, like I dig back and I do a little bit of old, a little bit of new, you know, make it work. But yeah, let's switch back over here to MLS real quick, because of course the home team, of course, we're still hanging our heads down, you know, over losing the board. But we did make moves this past week, and we did sign Eric Hugo Torres from Tigres, I think, where he was last at. And what are you guys thinking about that move?
I think it's interesting how things come back around, because Torres formerly also played for Houston,
and as well,
and the connection. If I recall, he has ties with Bocanegra.
Yes, so they played together at I think it was Chivas USA.
Yep, Chivas. So now he's here. And we've been searching high, searching low, trying to find answers to our strikers issue. I think this may be one that we could look forward to that actually may have some positive tone to it. Because otherwise, I wasn't really on the board with Adam John. I think he's cool. I don't think he was expected to play as much as he has played, but I was not necessarily one to say, oh, are we going to, if he was to let me back up. I wasn't expecting him to have as much playing time as he has had. No one did. I don't think he did. But
gonna play
when we were in Nashville at that game. So when he went down, it was just like, oh man, I was not looking forward to that. So I think Torres would be able to bring some kind of scoring prowess that we need as far as this offense goes. So I'm looking forward to seeing what component he can bring, as well as the additions that we have recently made as well, joining the squad down the road.
What you got, TK?
Hopefully he's able to just integrate into the team. I'm not too familiar with the player himself. Didn't know he played at Houston, but outside of that, I'm just hoping for, the team to just be able to hit a mental refresh, F5 that shit. And let's get back to business. We're playing some good football, I think that we still needed some time for those players to bed in. A lot of the players just now arriving in their first year. So just to integrate and, build that team chemistry on the field, with the ball, not just like, laughing outside of the pitch. Because that's a totally different thing. We need that chemistry that Josef Miggy had. So, I'm just hopeful for that he can integrate and we can finally have someone to, adequately replace Josef, because him being now registered on the list. What is it? The injured reserve list.
You guys shut out for the season. So honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't do that sooner. I guess because the transfer window wasn't open, it kind of didn't make any sense to do so. But at least because putting him on the reserve list allowed for us to go ahead and get a little bit extra money to go ahead and get Cubo Torres. I think the interesting thing is that, with all the moves that we made back over the winter, we actually are sitting on a good bit of money, and probably obviously because of COVID and everything, the market is definitely a bit funkier than what it probably would be for the summer. But I think that I'm not sure what the expectation is going into the rest of the year. There's already been reports that we should be restarting probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And, so I'm going to get into that whole issue probably in 2 up and 2 down. But I think that, with Torres, with Jurgen Damm coming in, at least on paper, we should be fine. It's just a matter of we had to figure out how are we going to look and how are we going to play going forward. And actually, that brings me up to another question that I thought about last week, and it just escaped me. So, for those of y'all who obviously follow Atlanta United and everything, y'all know that going into hiring DeBoer, actually, he wasn't even like really mentioned as a real candidate until basically he was hired. Like the candidate that we had all heard about was Guillermo Barros-Schelotto, who actually ended up going over to LA Galaxy. So like I'm just kind of wondering, like, what in the world did DeBoer say to sell himself to United, given how things went? Because I'm like, he wasn't. Because from everything I've read, we've wanted that wide open attacking style of play, it was never really based on having a strong defense. It's more so, hey, you got to outscore us to beat us. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, At what point did DeBoer say, you know what, I can do that? And then we got him, was like, the fuck is this?
Right. If you have a team that can lap like Atlanta, why do you go from being a fast-paced attacking front to just sitting on the ball and playing out the back and emphasizing possession? When most of the time you're not used to possessing the ball, you're trying to play on the counter and score goals. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to control the ball to score goals. We couldn't get to that final third to really figure out the equation of how to get the ball to the net. But yeah, I agree with you. What was it that he said to them to say, hey, this is what I believe will make us successful. And my ideology is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And if it ain't
don't fix it, just make it better if you can.
And if it ain't broke, find you a coach that actually wants to play that way. Because I think it was clear, that DeBoer had his idea, and whenever he had opportunity to play that way, that's what he did. And then it's like every time he tried doing it his way, it wasn't working. I'm like, and I talked about this on another podcast, like, at what point do you just stop? You realize, hey, this shit ain't working. I need to do something else. Like, stop being so stubborn and trying to force things into your will, and just realize that, hey, this shit ain't for you. This shit ain't it. Like, I don't know like how else to really put it. And, especially with Joseph being honest, like, you should have known. I think we actually even talked about this last year. That 3-4-3 relied on depth and depth quality. And if you ain't got somebody as good as Joseph behind him, you need to do something else.
Right. Exactly.
And I mean, and tactic aside, I also think the club's aspirations, thinking about the long game, where they want to be in the world of soccer, player development, the way that they buy and sell players and play in the economy, the global market of soccer. I think they looked at DeBoer as that piece that could help give them that bigger appeal on a worldwide level, because you had someone who has experience in the English Premier League. So you just sold off exactly. It wasn't the best, but you just had one of your biggest players ever in your short history. You sold to the English Premier League. There's lots of players on your team that you're bringing in that have aspirations of going to Europe. So you're trying to create this system of trying to buy them, develop them, sell them, rinse and repeat. So I'm thinking that maybe him coming in was their vision of getting people acclimated to how things are done overseas. As far as from the manager aspect of managing the team, I don't know. I just feel like that EPL experience probably they looked at that they blew that up way too big,
I actually could see that point of view, but the problem there is that, one, he sucked when he was there. I mean, like, how is it that you are in two different leagues and you basically get fired because you could not score in a run of games? And because like Crystal Palace, like, he didn't score in it was like 7 games. Here,
correct.
It was 4 games. Like, at what point? And mind you, like, you could have the excuse that was going on in Crystal Palace, because like I don't think he got a lot of guys that he wanted to get. But like here, you actually let those guys go that you probably could have used. And in this place, you got guys that weren't as good, and this shit blew up in your face. So
right. And that's the thing. People actually had that question when they signed DeBoer, asking why, what was the logic behind signing him, knowing his past, his short stints really at those teams. Why do you take a chance on a guy? And I think that partly was also trying to be captain to save him, because in the end, if they were able to resurrect his career, it's able to be beneficial for United, but also for Frank de Boer. So I don't know if they really tried to fix him, because you're looking at it like, all right, we're developing players. We're also developing a manager. You don't want to do that.
We're returning in the manager rehab. And I saw Katie back there. What up, Katie? But no, it just turned out being a whole mess. And and especially if you look back at if you look over at Schelotto's situation over in LA, I definitely think it's a situation where like you have two parties who ended up not where they wanted to be, and should happen that way. And I'm actually a quick note. One of the guys who I wish we could have gotten at Domi Torrent from NYCFC, he actually he just replaced George Jesus at Flamingo, and I'm like, fuck, like that, like I saw what he was doing up in NYCFC. I think that he could have done a really good job here, but yeah,
that's a great point, though, man. I think well, we go ahead and segue into some of those transfers, man. We got some sweet rumors brewing about it's silly season 100%.
Yes. It's our favorite time of year when people talk shit and then it doesn't come through. But yes, we getting Sancho. I hope. Like
it's not agreed yet. It's not agreed.
I mean, Mayor's guys, Borussia, they want to, they want all the money up front. Like, don't they realize we're all in COVID right now? Like, you need to, like, you're going to get all your money, just, it just can't come all the way right now. Just, like, chill, man. Just chill.
Yeah, you're going to get your chicken. You're going to get your coin. Just hold on. They're going to probably get, I think to make this work, they'll probably get 60 to 70 up front, and then they'll work out the remainder over time. Yeah. But 60, 70, United's got it. I mean, that's what they typically, that's about the limit they typically pay for most players, except Maguire. That was a separate situation. I don't know why they decided to throw that extra. They just put it's like, all right, they overpaid for that. But
I think the word you're looking for is mistake.
I think they're overpaying for Sancho too, but that's me. But
it's a separate mistake.
No, it's a common thing with this. It's like, especially when you're talking about like top 4, top 6 clubs, it's always that case if you're gonna buy the next big English name, it's like, okay, this guy's gonna be on the England national team, he's gonna be on all the commercials, so we got to go ahead and pay an extra 20 million for this guy, just for the fact that, hey, he's not gonna be wearing our jersey when he hits it big, so we got to get a little something extra for it. Like, it's the stupidest shit. I can't stand it.
It's Dortmund. That's what they do.
But hey, Dortmund already does a pretty good job as far as flipping guys. So
they're a selling club for sure.
But you think Sancho's cheap? Wait till Sterling gets up there, man.
I don't think. I mean,
Haaland. I mean, wait till Haaland gets up there. Not anytime soon, but just wait. Wait till Haaland gets there. Woo!
I mean, but I don't think Sancho's worth that much. I'd probably say, given his age, I'd be willing to pay 100, but like the price they're talking about is like 120 million. I'm like, for what?
Not 120, 100 easy, not 120.
Yeah, like and that's the English markup. That's the English markup.
But with teams not having as much money as they would if it wasn't a pandemic going on and the stoppage of football right now, there's got to be some kind of discount, some kind of way. I mean, Atlanta.
Discount?
United's got the money, but there's got to be to make this faster. Dortmund put a deadline on it. They said August 10th. This has to be done by August 10th. If it's not done by the 10th, who else do you have to sell to?
I mean, the way Chelsea's spending, you never know. You never know. But I think that because like we talked about last week, Liverpool's come into a lot of money. They're actually supposed to be getting Thiago from Bayern. Like, that's actually a pretty big coup if that happens, because just like how we were talking about last week with their midfield, like, he actually would be a pretty good addition, to freshen up their midfield and everything. But yeah, if Sancho doesn't happen for us, it just might be Chelsea. But of course,
they'll figure it out.
Of course, that brings me right up into our next segue. So TK.
It's an O.
What happened on Sunday, B?
Sunday was just another day.
I mean, was it? Well, first of all,
Lewis Hamilton brought that home on 3 times.
Oh, I see.
That's I see where we're deflecting here. Oh, I see we're deflecting Wonder Woman style here.
Chelsea lost the FA Cup final against Arsenal. It was a great match. Could have been better, but
it could have been better if our hero, our Lord and Savior, Christian Pulisic didn't get hurt, because he did score 5 minutes into the game off some nasty shit. Like even I was hyped on that.
Yeah, after just like the jump off, like that. It was like, yeah, like you walk into a party and it's just popping. Like that's how that felt going into that matchup, and him scoring like in the 5th minute. But man, I actually have some higher levels of concern, just because I'm thinking, what's going on with, like did Chelsea, as in we, do some sort of medical training, like not something new this week, and in preparation for the cup final that we haven't been doing before, and maybe. Christian was one of our players who trained the hardest, and now you could see that slight, different training exercise could have actually affected him negatively. So I think there's some questions to be asked of the medical staff.
It's weird because obviously with all of these games being pushed through, trying to finish up the season. You basically have had to put a lot of wear and tear in a short amount of time. And this actually goes back to what we were talking about last week when Chelsea was sitting Pulisic, trying to rest him up. And then suddenly he finally gets to start in the FA Cup final, does his thing, but very soon afterwards, he's down. And just as an aside, can our American players just stay healthy?
Well, that's the thing, man. I don't feel like people really understand, but Christian Pulisic, however great of a player, however high his ceiling, all the things he could potentially become from what he already is, he's injury prone, like straight up. Not a little bit. Go, dude. It's littered. Yeah. He's injury prone. He is. And that's just, that is what it is. We'll have to try to mitigate those problems the best we can as a club, and see how that works. But for me, it was it was one thing for Christian to get a hammy. It was another thing for Azpilicueta, who was literally the most, like, Mr. Reliable. He's got the most appearances, I think, like almost near 300 appearances for Chelsea. Mm-hmm. And it's like, for him to get a hamstring, that tells me,
it might be.
Those are the guys who I expect to train the hardest. The captain, Captain Reliable, and Christian, trying to get up there and elevate and show his level. Right. So for me, for those two guys, just like that kind of has an arrow pointing at the medical staff, in my opinion. But I digress.
I mean, like we give y'all a little bit of credit. Y'all did have a pretty decent season, making top 4, making the FA Cup final, but in the end, you still finished behind Man United, and you lost to Arsenal. Oh, and
my shoulder's dislocated.
But
we're losing our players.
But now it's like number 14 for Arsenal. I've never seen so many Arsenal fans so hype over the FA Cup victory. Of course, this gives them number 14. They're the winningest club in FA Cup history. And Aubameyang, he came to play.
Blood clot, mate. Blood clot.
Obama who?
Blood clot.
Obama what? Obama blood clot. But no, like I definitely think this gives them a lot of newfound life going into the off season and trying to figure like what they're going to do next with Arteta. Hopefully, that this means that Aubameyang they'll be able to re-sign him, and who knows what might happen from there. So
I think they need to spend some money, man. Like obviously, but
they always need to spend money. They
don't have any good like even City, for example, they've got targets they're acquiring already. Fernando Torres, they're looking for, and they're going to
Aki.
Yeah, they're going to shore up the back with Aki to get schooled under. Now who is it?
I don't know.
Out of their back.
The company's gone, so I don't pay attention to half their back.
Or it's going to be essentially their next company. But he's still got the connection within the national team. So,
and actually, I heard your guys might be looking at this other Dutch kid, this
Xavier Mumbabwe or something like that.
Yeah. Like he might be the next Van Dijk. So y'all at least it's somebody. At least y'all are actually remembering there's other guys outside of attack that y'all need to address. So
yeah, that's it. Excuse me, Van Dijk. Thank you. He'll have Ake will have Van Dijk to learn under, and then he can apply that trade at City, essentially.
Cool. But yeah, let's take a quick break. Like I said, we're just hanging out this week. So like, we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about kits because there's been a lot of kits that came out in July and this first week of August. So we're gonna talk about them, what we like, what we don't like. We're up and two down, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So, my wallet is about to be very light pretty soon because, because of COVID and because everything got pushed back, we've seen a lot of new kits come out the past few weeks, new drops, new releases. Some teams have already debuted their kits before the end of their current season. Like, there's actually one that has stuck out to me quite a bit. And it's from a brand that I'm usually have low expectations for. AC Milan and Puma. Like, for those of you who haven't seen it, it just released last week, and like it has a very intricate design. I think of one of the cathedral stained glass windows and stuff. But that thing is a work of beauty. Of course, given their relative similarity to the home team here, I'm like, yo, can we get something like that? Like, can we get like something like the neon outline in the varsity? like yo. And then I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here so y'all see me on camera and on podcast. Man City's away is damn near gorgeous. Like, I can't even front. I can't even, like, that thing is gorgeous. Like, what are some ones that y'all been peeping so far?
Honestly, I don't like to say it, but that Liverpool with the hint of green in there is killing.
Yeah. They just switched over to Nike going into next year, and yeah, like it's smooth. It's smooth now. From what I've seen on their away kits and their third kits, that might cause a little bit that might raise a couple eyebrows, but at least the home kit, yeah, it's simple and smooth though. What you got, Mayor?
I'm digging that. I've been on that City as well, but I'm digging this Roma kit.
Yeah,
they're usually pretty. They're pretty. Usually, they do some good work with the Roma kits without going overboard or going too crazy. I always look forward to seeing what Roma's going to do every year, and I think they knocked it out this year. They got the collars as well, so
popping collars for justice, baby.
They are, man. I'm digging that. I'm digging it.
Yeah, Roma. They did basically what they did was they did I don't want like a tribute kit, but like one of their most famous kits, like from the early '80s when they won Serie A, was they had like the color, like the blocks on the top of their jersey, and they referenced that in this kit, and it is like with just how it lays out perfect. Of course, the only thing I don't like is just the Cutter Airways. I'm like, Yo, TK, we're gonna figure out some type of way to learn how to start removing some of these logos because that one might be a little problematic, but still, that thing is it's absolutely amazing.
I've got you taken care of on that, so no worries at all. I'm gonna have to do this. I told you I'm considering doing that to the Chelsea jersey.
Oh, because
I really love that.
Hold on, because y'all were doing okay with that home and away kits, but this third jersey that's about to come out, that one's not gonna work, fam. Like, not even a little bit, not even at all. Like I told you, like not even Crystal Palace wants that shit. Like that thing is bad.
Yeah, we'll I don't even know.
Hopefully y'all don't wear that one often. Like maybe y'all have to say that one for like FA Cups or League Cup or something. Like
we'll be Champions Leaguing it up. You know how that works.
But nah, that one.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Hey, if y'all qualify, because we got third.
If we qualify, come on.
Hey, you never know. You never know. But because y'all still got to play because y'all got Bayern Friday, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think it's Saturday.
Damn.
Or is that it might be the replay. But the Bayern's. I believe it's on the 8th. It's so there's no way we overturn that deficit though. 3-0. We'll be lucky to hit them up.
Hey, if Liverpool can do it, so can Chelsea.
I mean, yeah, but if Chelsea does it, then we're gonna win the whole thing. So,
and then y'all be super tired going in the next year because Lampard was even talking about that. Starting next season. And
I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like, let's give that 2 minutes. Hit it.
I think that next season is going to be a click the fuck this in general because you're having to compress. It's going to be like it's going to be the most MLS season ever for Europe because you're having to compress everything into a very short period of time. Mind you, you still got the Euros next year, so you already know that hey, you can't just spread this over and like ending in July and shit. Like you have to end on time. Corona willing. So I think that depth is going to be at a premium, and hopefully it's a reason y'all about to have like 7 forwards up top because y'all gonna need every last one of them. So
maybe so. Even now, we're still light on wingers though, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I might try to get that kid from Brentford since they didn't get promoted. But that's another one.
I saw that. Fulham's on the way back up. They beat Brentford at Wembley today 2-0. And who was up in the other
Newsflash. I believe it was Swansea.
Yes.
It leads me.
You got it, man. You got it.
But
you can do it.
No, man.
This man.
I'm not on that. It's not my job anymore.
You were always that boy. But no. Let's see here. Is it Cardiff? No, that's not right. Yeah, no, actually, no. It is. It is Fulham. Yeah, so it's just Fulham that made the playoff, and so yeah, it's West Brom, Leeds, and Fulham. So
those will be the newly promoted teams.
Yes. So,
who's getting the drop?
Norwich, Bournemouth, and Don't give me the line, man. I'm knee deep in this peanut butter whiskey, which is you can find inside of this whichever club mug at ftcut.myshopify.com. And
I think it's not too much of a bother what's already happened for this season. But does Leeds go? Do they stay up next season? Does West Brom stay up next season? Does Fulham?
I don't think West Brom, like they have a pretty good history of just being like a yo-yo club. Leeds is very interesting because I think there will obviously be a bit of nostalgia there as far as wanting to see them up top and hope and do well, at least to where they can stay up top and be what they used to be and whatnot. Obviously it might take some time. They might be able to pull a Leicester and challenge sooner rather than later. Really,
or Sheffield.
Yeah. They they might be able to do something. So I'm pretty sure during the supposed off season of August, we'll see what they want to do, and we'll go from there. But
it was Cardiff, for the record.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, and there's another kid that really just got on nerves. Real Madrid, because usually I'm usually a big fan of theirs, but like I'm not crazy about I'm not liking the white and pink this year. Like it's not really doing it for me. It's not really.
Is it too Miami for you? Is it too Miami for you?
Hey, they're more Miami than Miami, so there's that.
That kit's not doing it for me like Bayern's kits.
Yeah.
I'd say Barca's kits, the black and gold, man, that's just gangsta.
Yeah, it is, and it's making me wish that LAFC was Nike, because I could easily see them just doing an easy transition to looking just like that, and everything would pop all day long. But
what about that Inter Milan?
I need and I talked about. I think I mentioned this now in our 2 up 2 down last week. I need Italy to get on their shit, so that way I feel comfortable buying Serie A kits, because it's hurting my soul that
can't get the drip. Get the drip.
Yeah. Like, because I do want that Roma jersey. Definitely want that AC Milan jersey. Like, even their trainer jersey is actually pretty drip as well. So, but
the away one is killer.
And there actually is one down in Brazil that I need a plug so bad. The Corinthians away jersey. It's a tribute to most of their away kits typically have it's black with white pinstripes, and I need that in my life so bad. So if you know somebody that's in Brazil and wants to, risk Corona and ship that shit up here to Atlanta, holla at your boy, because I have been looking hard.
I'm checking it out right now, and my oh my,
I would not tell you wrong. I would not tell you wrong, but yeah, just a quick bit of housekeeping before we get up 2 up 2 down. Like we said, name sets are out. We actually got some new orders over the weekend for new name sets. They will be produced over the weekend. As always, go to FTCUTD.myshopify.com. Get your Black Lives Matter name sets. Get your regular name sets. Get your hats, your shirts, everything. Actually, I think we still have a hoodie. It might be cold somewhere. We do have one hoodie that's still up on there. I know it's August, but if you want it's still there. And then also the Legends of the Culture. We actually made T-shirts. Of course, we had hoodies at first, but now we have T-shirts, for the summer. So there you go. FTCUTD.myshopify.com. And as always,
but if you want that hoodie, we got hurricane season. We were here with you proof ready. I mean,
true.
Hey,
but
ready, get it early.
Yeah. It's about that time of the year. So yeah, stay dry, y'all, because I know it's been raining here anyway for every 2-3 days. So I'm kind of used to it by now. I actually got
thunderstorms.
I actually got stuck over at Target the other day. I walked over there from over in Buckhead, and then as soon as I got over there, that was what turned into a 10-minute walk turned into an hour-long wait for lift and trying to get across the street to work. So, but yeah, it's like that sometimes. Like I said, it's that kind of summer. But yeah.
I know it's not going to be one of your downs.
No, no. There's something else in Atlanta for downs. I got you on that one. But let's hit it up. What you got, 2K?
For downs, man, I'll keep it current, keep it trendy. Man, I'm not sure if people are in touch with the news. There was a huge explosion in Beirut, Lebanon today, and
you see the videos and that shit? That shit is wild.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. I was trying to catch that shockwave, but it seems most of the videos people kind of turn away or
they get blown away. They're hold on, this shit's hard to knock off.
But it's just amazing to see that. that wave moving at you, just woof. But my heart goes out, and prayers to all the people affected, to all the families, for those who lost their lives. That was completely botched. Apparently, there's some chemicals they had stored there in a container that were in, the shipyard. So, yeah, just shout out to all the families, man. It's hard thing to see, and just kind of keep it going, moving with the downs. Hopefully, COVID will not affect work life here with me. I might be actually having to do some reduced time, so juggling some things myself here at the homestead. So just want to put that out there as a negative thing, but hopefully it won't come to pass, and things will continue to kind of stay floating. For the ups, though, I'd probably like to say shout out to actually, let me tackle another one down for my down. It's actually bothered me pretty had me upset earlier this weekend. Michael Brown was they had the case that they brought back about to see if they can get these police officers reconvicted, and they did not file any further charges for Michael Brown up in Ferguson, Missouri. So we got to do better. We got to do better, folks. Got to do better. But for my up, we're going to swing it back. I'm just happy to be alive, and shit. Yeah, man, I really ain't got much more. I'm just thankful to have here my other co-hosts. Shout out Mayor, shout out Grego, and Tony's not with us this week. Everyone's got some personal things going on, but everyone's navigating COVID. So I just want to take the time and just reflect. Essentially, I know this is kind of something that Rashad does more, but yeah, just want to be thankful and shout out to my people here, trying to keep this for the culture movement going for everyone here.
Gotcha. I'm just going to jump in here in front of you real quick, Rashad. I'm going to let you close this out. My downs this week, the National Navy SEAL Museum, a video came out over the weekend. They're doing a little bit of training at the site. Mind you, they're not officially connected to the military in any type of way, but basically they are the museum that honors the Navy SEALs. They had a video where they had attack dogs attacking this guy, and he was wearing a Colin Kaepernick jersey, and yeah, people in the back row saying like, "I bet he'll stand now, no," and as a result of that, the Navy SEALs and the Naval Department disconnected all ties with the museum. Said, yeah, that's not how we roll, and you would think by now people will just be more aware of that shit, but of course you realize that ignorance is still very prevalent. And then as a tie-in, well, not even tie-in, my second down is FC Cincinnati. They are working on their stadium as we speak. Well, not anymore. Well, for at least for now, because on the site, workers were out caught using racial slurs, and it happened enough times to where they said, you know what, we got to shut this shit down, and they're making the workers do anti-racist classes, and they're not doing anything until that gets handled. You gotta. I've never really been. Say what?
Good on them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the fact that, again, you would think, given the summer that we've had, that are people just that ignorant? Read the room. Please read the fuck out of the room. But yeah, hopefully, they learn better and do better, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. My ups, gotta shout out once again to WNBA. Their players ran. You might have seen it already. the Phoenix Mercury players, and I'm pretty sure there'll probably be more after this. They were, going out in games wearing a Vote Warnock shirts. For those of y'all who don't know, Warnock is one of the candidates for Senate here in Georgia, Raphael Warnock. He's a minister. I forgot what church he is. I'm pretty sure Rashad probably knows. And yeah, like they're putting their support behind him. Of course, for those of y'all who don't know, the current senator is Kelly Loeffler, who is one of the minority owners of the Atlanta Dream. And so it's basically a ton bit of shade against her. And like we said last week, for those of y'all who don't know, the WNBA players is basically an extension of the women voter base as a whole, and they've been on their shit for a minute. It's like they were doing shit well before everybody else was, because they are an active bunch. And so for them to do this, it's definitely putting their money where their mouth is and making their statements known. And that's pretty big for them.
Before you move on, Warnock is the pastor of the great and historic Ebenezer Baptist Church.
There you go. And then last but not least, the best up is happy birthday to President Barack Hussein Obama, turning 59 years old, still looking about a good 39, looking like freedom, like walking black freedom.
That's what Secret Service detail feels like.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, if every black person could live like that, we'd be a far better place. Like, we might. I don't know if we could all be president, but if we can all just have that sense of security and freedom, where that nobody can really fuck with you, like, like that's life.
That's
life.
all we want, right? That's all we want. That's just one Secret Service agent. That's all we need.
Really, seriously.
Write that into the reparations thing.
But one quick shout out before I turn it over to Rashad. Just shout out to one of our homeboys, Donald Wine. He lost his mother over the weekend. It wasn't COVID related, but it was still very unexpected. For those of y'all who don't know, he's very big in Atlanta Outlaws. He's been in commercials for ESPN, Nike. Like he's been very prominent as far as the supporter culture for well over 10 years now. Like I've known him for probably about a good 10 or 12 probably by now. But yeah, we're thinking about you, man. Stay strong. Obviously we've been through it, recently and before with losing parents. So any way we can help, we're there for you. But yeah, let's get you Rashad. Let's see what you got.
Close it on out. I'm gonna start with my two downs and start with something a little bit lighter. Mine has something to do with baseball. And as we all know, we're still in this COVID environment. And as we've talked about in previous weeks, there's leagues that have constructed bubbles to play their sports. And baseball is a little bit trickier. It's kind of hard for you to have a bubble and have all your teams and all of the logistics that go with baseball because of the size of the playing surface and the amount of people that you have on your teams, et cetera, et cetera. So they decided not to go with a bubble construct. But as a result of that, we may not have any more baseball because of the certain teams that are having these major outbreaks of the COVID virus, one being Miami. There was reports that the players went out to party at the clubs. St. Louis has a heavy outbreak. They went out to a casino. And so they're putting their players at risk, other teams and players at risk. So I looked at the standings this morning and, like, for instance, where the division the Braves play in, I think the Braves just won tonight, so they should be like 8 wins, 3 losses. Second place is like Miami. They're like 1-2. So they've been off for a while because of COVID. So, and you look around and it's just so uneven because people are putting self before others. And now you might not even have a season. So the money you thought you were going to make hey, you might throw that out the window. So, I mean, it's a short season anyway. I would, just buckle down, do what you got to do, handle your business, and then wait it out, quarantine, whatever the rules are, then go back home to your family. But it's like, man, we wilding out here. But that's one.
Who goes to a casino right now? Like, bruh, like what are we doing? Like, really, go home. Like,
same people who's in Moms Against Masks.
Seriously, like that's just wild. What else you got, man?
So my second one, this one hurt me a bit. Reading news out of Aurora, Colorado, there was an incident where there was a black family in an SUV. Police got tipped off on a call. They actually pulled this family over. They got them all out of the vehicle. They had them in handcuffs, and they were face down on the hot pavement. They were actually looking for a motorcyclist. So they mistake this family
in a car,
in an SUV, loaded for a motorcyclist. You have one, maybe two at the max on a motorcycle. An entire family in an SUV. Where? I don't get it. I know the past the incident, they've come out and they've apologized and they've stated how they were able to mistake. I didn't even care to see what the apology was about, but still, you mistake a SUV for a motorcycle. I just do not get life anymore. This is 2020, people. This is 2020.
This is Black in America.
This is Black in America. This is 2020. This is anyway.
Can I give you an up real quick?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we don't talk about it, I'm gonna kill my.
Don't go there, Greg.
Yeah, my bad. The Rock.
I was gonna get into it.
Okay.
Give me a look. So I was gonna take this.
We got so much stuff. I wasn't sure, man.
Yeah, it was so much. But I was gonna say that with this Aurora situation, and just with society as a whole, the messaging that we're pushing, that society is pushing right now. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter because all lives matter. And so this is a situation where Black Lives Matter. And when Black lives start to matter, everything else, will make sense. So I was going to say that to segue into the Black Lives Matter shirts, the ones that the players showed when the season kicked off. The beginning of the tournament, when the tournament kicked off, the solidarity tees with the hashtag MLS is back. I know there was a lot of hype and demand about those shirts when they were displayed on TV. All the black players came in together on the pitch in a beautiful display before the first match. Those shirts have been released on MLS Store and online. And so what they're doing is all of those proceeds from the sales of those shirts will be donated by the MLS to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the 100 Black Men of America, and the Players Coalition in partnership with Black Players for Change. So even also the person who created the shirt also has that shirt on his website as well.
Yeah, so Warren Criavel, midfielder with the Philadelphia Union.
Mm-hmm. So those shirts are out. I know they're probably going to sell out pretty fast. So if you want one, get you one. But hey, Black Lives Matter. And as my last up, and Grego was about to steal my sauce real quick. The Rock has purchased the XFL. So if you don't know what the XFL is, it is the Extreme Football League. It is a football league, not soccer, but it's a American football league that was started by
Vince
McMahon from the World Wrestling Entertainment from the WWE. So it was supposed to be an alternative to the NFL, more action. You actually get to see the players and they're closer to the players, more drama, storylines, things of that nature, more excitement around the product. They started years ago. folded. They came back this year, and they got about 5 weeks into the season with COVID stuff starting. They had to end the league, shut down, file bankruptcy. So lo and behold, months later, The Rock emerged with a small ownership team, and they've made a purchase of about $15 million to acquire the XFL. And I immediately thought, damn, this is our next season of the Ballers. The Rock, The Rock, it's crazy. Like your former employer, you bought your former employer's dream. Because Vince McMahon loved football and he dreamed of having something to compete with the National Football League. And it's funny, I just thought about this. It's funny that he did this and he was trying to do this. One of his buddies, 45, also had aspirations of that back in the day with the American Football League and all the other investments that he made into football. But that's funny though. But we got somebody with some color buying a league right now. That's amazing, man.
And that is that. One of his partners was actually his ex-wife, Danny Garcia. She's a part of the group. So they've also a woman of color is also involved in this as well. So that's pretty big as well.
Beautiful. Yes.
But yes, of course, I still too much football for me. But if nothing else, it's Black owned. So that's what's up. I know we didn't really mention it during the show, but this weekend is the Henny Derby.
Henny.
Richmond Kickers, Forward Madison. The vibe is back. Shout out to April, Chris, Cal, Yogi, Chenier, all of them. So we'll be watching. Right now the Henny Derby is right now in Madison. I suggest a darker Hennessy for the winner this year. That's just me. That's just me.
Grego's giving us suggestions.
Yeah. So we'll definitely be looking with a lot of interest. Of course, if you haven't done so already, go back and watch our Henny Derby video on YouTube. Our Henny Derby After Hours podcast from last year. Like I said, we went up to Richmond last year. It was a whole vibe. It was a whole scene. Shout out to everybody that we met up there. Hopefully we'll get to see you guys soon. And hopefully we'll see y'all soon next week on next week's episode, the season finale, the Corona season finale of the Porter Culture Podcast. But we recap the season, and we're going to take a little bit of a break going into next season, like our usual August break. But we'll wrap things up for this week. Because as always, you can on social the FTC.
UTD.
Sounded good. I'll take that. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're about 2 steps away again from hopping off TikTok. I mean,
you want that ad live email address, man?
I don't know what we're waiting for, man.
But that might be a wrap pretty soon. But yes, as y'all can see, as I said last week, I have my glasses now. I can see even more than what I saw before. So we will see y'all soon. FTC UTD. Don't forget, get the gear at ftcutd.myshowfi.com.
Check the socials. Make sure you look up Henny Derby.
Yes.
The first thing that pops up, folks.
Yes. So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, we'll schools, students, kids, wear your damn mask. Wear your damn mask. Teachers, students, back to school, wear your damn mask. But yeah, we'll catch y'all soon out these streets. For Coach, for TK, for Mayor, it's Grego. Coach is real. Coach is everywhere. We will actually see y'all soon, and we out.